our black, Latino, and Native American. When the Lord says that our kingdom is to come, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
I got the camera bag, I'm the cameraman. If shit getting active, I'ma stand it down. We taking ground, call the ambulance. That shit go. Look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that, right, that shit go. If you got a problem, we'll handle it. Niggas acting hard, you better stand on it. We on every corner, we stamping it. You better get your life for this camp shit. We ain't playing around, there's no cowards, dog. If niggas charged up, you get powered off. Rude of speech, keep it raw. It ain't my fault that you niggas soft. It ain't my fault that these niggas frauds. It ain't my fault that them niggas rats. If your colors fly, you don't get that shit go. Look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that. That shit go, look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that, right, that shit go.
B-Raw, wanna go to war, gotta have it to the van. Tryna cut the semen, something you don't understand. Getting checked for my betterment, better take it like a man. Nigga, how you walk away for camp? If you willing to die, you better be willing to stand. Take a trip around the world, see a bunch of corners held by them UPK niggas. All them UPK niggas go to camp. And I'm on Shamar head hanging out the car window when I pull up straight to the battlefield. And I'ma make sure niggas make it back home. Say, nigga, what you thought? Well, anything moving, I be on. Gotta remind them, we nothing like them niggas that you saw. If you hear back up, that'll be your last time to get out the way. The price to pay before
that shit go.
Nah, for real though. B-Raw.
Look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that, right. That shit go, look.
Nah, for real though. B-Raw.
Look. If shit go, look, you best get right, or you'll get, look, you got that.
Y'all about to swim y'all shot right stuff. Move that stuff. The Father we fear. Your whole shot. Eastward.
Shalom, Israel. This is Baltimore Sabbth Service. Israel Amadian. La Yasha
Face the east. We say the Lord's Prayer. First the Hebrew Abanawa.
Abadaw.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Dash.
Wadash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Ka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakah.
Malak Wabka. Daba'a. Tizayat.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha. Ba'arakda.
Ka. Aha.
Kawa.
Kawa. Ayah.
Kawayaha.
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Thundanawa.
Latanganaw.
Come.
Lakam.
Ka.
Ko.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalaknawa.
Wasalat now.
Kabawakinawa.
Kabawakinaw.
Wasalaknawa.
Kasalat now.
Kawakinawa.
Kabawakinaw.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaayinawa.
Taba'ayanaw.
Banasawan.
Banasayawam.
Ball.
Abal.
Awashayinawa.
Pawashayanaw. Mayan.
Rod.
Right.
Ayah.
Kaya.
Ka.
Kaka.
Amalakwa.
Kamalakwa.
Waha'a. Ala.
Wahata Pa'ara.
Wahata Pa'ara. La'awa Yamyan.
Wa'awalamyam.
Amon.
Ma.
In English. Our Father.
Our Father.
which art in heaven.
Try heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy
Thy
name.
kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
In earth.
in earth
As it is in heaven.
as it is in
Give us
heaven.
this day.
Give us this day
Our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts
Save our debts.
as we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not
Lead us not
temptation.
into temptation,
Deliver us.
but deliver us
Evil.
from evil.
From thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the
And the
kingdom
power.
and the power
And the glory.
and the glory forever. So be it.
Pray for power. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hashem.
Hashem,
Shah.
Yahweh Shah,
Shah.
Baba Kusha,
Thundanawa.
the thunder now, Hakat,
Ka.
Hakat,
Darapa'a.
Lara Pa'a,
Maka'ala.
Kamaka'awa,
Wakal Manawa.
Makamarawa,
Ka.
Hakat,
Ataha.
Atahara,
Ha. Matazarayan.
Ha Matarazai,
Ka.
Hakat,
Lahakayim.
Lahakyam,
Hamakyim.
Hamatyam,
Ka.
Hakat,
Arakawa.
Arakawa,
Hata Ma'ala.
Hata Amala,
Akashan.
Magashan,
Hashim Yasha.
Bashim Yavsha, Duaraman,
Blessed for Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hashem.
Bashim,
Yahweh.
Yavsha,
Barakana. Barakana.
Baraklana,
Wayasha.
Bayashala,
Waha Bayat.
Wayabayat,
Payam.
Sapari,
Barak.
Barak,
Hashim Yasha.
Bashim Yavsha, Duaraman.
So. See it. Wait. Actually, make sure we don't fall. Okay. Let's start in the book of Daniel. I'm select Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 16. We're going to start verses 1 through 7. You see that we're going to get right into Deuteronomy 16, 1 through 7.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Shemawar, Hadash, Ha'abayab, wa aishayak pasak lahayanawa alahayak haya bakadash abayab taza ya yaak what taza yaak Yahweh alahayak alahayaka salaki alahayaka mama taza yum mama taza yum laya laha verse 2 was a bakah sapak lahaya layahawa salaki alahayaka taza on wabakwar bama kwa wam. Say it again. I'm in verse 2. On the third line. Ashar Yabakar Yahweh the Shakan Shema Sham verse 3 La'ah the Akol Ala Yawa Al Yawa so Taza Kamataza Shaba'ai Yum the Akol Ala Yawa Matazawath Lakam Ainaya Ananya thing Kaya Baka Taza Wan Baka Pataza Wan Yataza Ma'araktaza Matazara Yum Lama Anna Lama Ain Salakia Lama Ain there's a car Yawam Taza Taza Dak Ma'araktaza Matazarayam Ko Yamaya Kayayan verse 4 Wala Yara Lana say again going down Sha'ar Bakol Gabalan Shaba'af Yum Wala yalla lun, yalla yun, mun, habashar, ashar. There's a bak, by I rob, by yawam, kara, salakit, hara, shawan, hara shawan, laba kara, verse 5, la'ah, the wakol, the zabak, the pasak, but akad, sha'araka, yeah, yaka, rayaka, rayaka, ashar, Yahweh, alahayak, Nathan, Nathan, I think that's Baka, verse 6, Kaya, Aim, Kaya, Al, Hama Kwawam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayak, the Shakan, Shemawa, Sham. There's a bak, there's a pak, Ba'irab, Kabawa, the Shamash, Bawa'id, Taza Atak, Mama Taza Yum, Tazarium, Mama Tazarium, verse 7, Waba Shalaf, what a kalaf, Bama Kwawam, Ashar, Yabakar, Yahweh, Alahayak, Bawa, Wapanya, Babakwar, Wa'alakaf, La'ahai, La'ahala, Ahalayak, La'ahayalak. I'm at verse 7, and that was the last word. La'ahalayak. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the mouth of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thine God. For in the mouth of Abib, the Lord God, observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thine God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thine God brought thee forth out of the Egypt by night. Verse 2, thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thine God of the flock and the herd, and the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. Verse 3, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life.
You look at the tradition of the Passover and going with the Passover, and 7 days after the Passover, we have what? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? Because it's to remind us of this time here. All our holidays or high holy days are to remind us of what has happened in the past. Why? Because we forget the past. You go to anybody now to tell you what the past don't matter. But the past is who you are. I mean, the past is your history. If your past don't matter, then you're nobody. You know what I mean? So this is where we get those traditions for, and we keep it in here in the eyes. Okay, go ahead.
Come on, God. Verse 4. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thine coasts 7 days. Neither shall there be anything of the flesh, which thou sacrificest the first day at even. Remain all night until the morning. Verse 5. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thine gates, which the Lord thine God giveth thee. Verse 6. But at place which the Lord thy God shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, and at the season that thou mayest came forth out of Egypt. Verse 7.
So verse 5 tells you, you 5 and 6 tells you have to do celebrate the Passover where the place the Lord chooses. You know what I mean? And you have to do it together. You know, because the Lord's only choosing one place. For anybody who thinks I'm gonna do the Passover at my house, and you do it at your house, it's not how the Lord wants it. You know what I mean? You don't change things. You do it the way the Lord said. The place the Lord chooses, that's where everybody gathers and does the Passover. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which Lord thy God shall choose.
And you shall roast it and eat it in the place where the Lord chose. Go ahead.
And thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. That's it.
That's for a heads up. Even if you're let's say you're a vegan, which is not unlawful to be a vegan, right? Or vegetarian, all these different things. On the day of the Passover, you have to eat. That's the Lord. Even if it's just a bite. That's time. You don't have to eat the whole meal, but our tradition, you have to eat at least a bite. Right? If you don't drink, you have to at least take a sip. You know what I mean? So it's not, you don't have to do the whole thing, but as a tradition, that's what we have to do. Because our religion is not vegan, our religion is not vegetarian. Our religion is not that. We are the Israelites. I mean, it's not a religion, that's who we are, that's part of our tradition. Right? Time's now 10:41. We're gonna skip the Hebrew. We're gonna go straight to the English. Right? Kara Salaki. And it's my fault. I got here late also. Right, so it's my fault. But we're gonna go to the English going forward.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 8. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. Verse 9. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. Verse 10. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God with a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God, according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. Verse 11. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy sons and thy daughters and thy maidservant and thy thy manservant and thy maidservant, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there.
So this is strict instruction of what was to be done, right? And especially for those who have, you better make sure everybody who does not have is able to participate and celebrate also. That's why it mentions all the people who are less fortunate. Now it becomes the responsibility of those who do have. So you can't show up to the Passover and you're good. And when they ask you, hey, where's that father's boy, the person who, they ain't come. Why? Well, they couldn't afford it. Can't be so. That's not in the spirit. You gotta make sure everybody's able to attend. Right? And also, if you have issues getting to the Passover or getting to any of the high holidays, you have to reach out. You can't let Satan tell you, well, I'm just a burden. I don't want to bother nobody. You better reach out because you're required to be there. You understand? I mean, don't ever feel like reaching out for help from the school when it comes to any high holiday that you shouldn't hesitate. It's a commandment. It's not a suggestion. When something's a commandment, you got to find a way to get it done. If you don't get it done, it's on you, especially the resources you get. Go ahead, Pro.
Come on, Deuteronomy 16 and 12. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Verse 13. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that, thou shalt gather in thy corn and thy wine. Verse 14. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow, that are within thy gates. And that's it.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. It mentions here, and thou shalt rejoice in the feast, and thy son and thy daughter, and the manservants and the maidservants, and the Levites, and the stranger, and the fatherless boy, and the widow. Why is it mentioned the Levite amongst those? Sis? And it's mentioned the Levite amongst the manservants, the maidservants, the stranger, and the fatherless boy, and the widow. Why? You're on it. You're not wrong. But I need a little bit more. Okay. The Levites were not allowed to work. They only lived by tithes, whatever tithes they received. The showbread, for example, was not just for this was what the Levites ate. That was their food. You know what I mean? The showbread was for them. Certain sacrifices that was made was for them to be able to eat. They didn't have what somebody who was a businessman, because they were not allowed to be businessmen. They were not allowed to be farmers. They were not allowed to, there was no rich or wealthy Levites, right? So they were counted amongst those who didn't have. So you saw a Levite back then. Now it's different. But back then, a Levite was at the care of the entire nation. That's what I mean. That's why if no crop, no tithes came in, nothing came in, they didn't eat. So that's why it puts them between the widows and the fatherless boy, because they were the less fortunate, even though they were not less fortunate, they were in the direct service of the Lord. But depending on, so for example, if hard times start to come, feed the person self with Levites, because you don't have to give. You know what I mean? So that's why they put them amongst theirs. Slack. That was it, right?
Come down, everything.
All right, let's slack it. We're moving fast because we're short on time. Let's go to the next. Where we at?
We had Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 15 through 21.
Let's get it.
Come on. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 15. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thine God in the place which the Lord shall choose. Because the Lord thine God shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hand. Before thou shalt surely rejoice. Salakia. Therefore, thou shalt surely rejoice.
And this is why when it comes to Passover, we have the Passover week. I mean, don't treat it like when you start planning for Passover and things like that. Treat it as a whole week. You know what I mean? Don't take it like I'm gonna head up to the Passover. I'm gonna drive up tonight. I'm gonna do the Passover and head back tomorrow. That's what I mean. Start preparing it like early. Let your jobs know early, because guess what? That goddamn so-called Jewish man, he celebrates his holidays in full. The world, like, taking off the Jewish man, the person in the world, they'll have a birthday month. They do birthday weeks now, the whole month they celebrate it. They plan for it, and they're gonna celebrate throughout the whole month. Surely we give the Lord 7 days. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. 3 times in a year shall all thine males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, and the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Verse 17, every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. Verse 18.
So it's not everybody brings $50. You're gonna give what you're able to give. You understand? According to what the Lord has blessed you with. But don't show up empty-handed. Don't show up empty-handed when it comes to the Lord. I mean, especially when you have heathens giving their fake gods everything. How much more so should God's chosen people, the one he chose to serve, be able to serve? Amen.
Verse 18, judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thine gates, which the Lord thine God giveth thee, throughout thine tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Verse 19, thou shalt not wrest judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift doeth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. Verse 20, that which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Lord thine God giveth thee. Verse 21, thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. And that's it.
Let's keep going.
Where we at Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 22, and then Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 1 through 6.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
When it says that we should not come empty-handed, is that also like Passover?
Yes. Yes, it's also for Passover. Go ahead.
So what's the difference when it says don't give a gift? You know, what we bring in the Passover is not considered a gift. It's considered us contributing to the Passover.
That's why. So off the rip, when it says do not come empty-handed, off the rip, we all pitching for the Passover. Off the rip. I mean, that's where the Passover fees help. Like we buy all the land.
Okay,
you understand me? That land is not just showing up out of nowhere. It's your money who bought the land. It's your money who got the place. You understand what I mean? Imagine one priest has to do all that and he just show up empty-handed. So you're not showing up empty-handed. That's the importance of the Passover fee. When you pay your Passover fees, it's to make sure you're keeping the law also. Also to make sure that we have enough to accommodate everybody. Because not everybody's gonna be able to contribute. But when we pay our Passover fees, we're contributing to that. We're not coming empty-handed. So don't think of it like, bam, I gotta bring something to the Passover. No, you bring yourself, your family, stuff like that. You contribute by paying the Passover fees.
Oh my God. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 22. Neither shalt thou set thee up any images which the Lord thy God hath hated. Salakia, which the Lord thy God hateth. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil flavoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Why? Why is that about? Do not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemished. Go ahead, sis. Why? Okay, the Lord is perfect. Why? Well, okay, so when it comes to sacrifice, right? What will an evil Negro do when it comes to sacrifice? Go ahead, Lamar.
Not get his best.
Why? Right. Go ahead, sis. You have something? If evil person would do this. When it's time to sacrifice, you go through it and find the one you don't want. Right? Let's say he has to sacrifice because let's say he sinned and now he has to sacrifice. That's why when it comes to sacrificing, you have to sacrifice, like in certain situations, you have to sacrifice a male bull that's not, giving you any seed. Why? Because that's the one you want. That one is prime. Anybody in that world knows that bull there is gonna make him rich. because it's gonna impregnate all these other bulls, right? Or a female bull that has not made it. That female bull is surprised because she's gonna produce more. But when you sin, you have to give that one up. So you're really giving something up. Now imagine you could pick which one to give up. You're not giving that one up. You're giving up the worst one. You're giving up the old one that already done, can't give you no more babies. You're gonna say, this one's time to die. The Lord don't want that. All right, go ahead.
Come. Verse 2. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that have wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant. Verse 3. Have gone and served other gods and worshiped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded. Verse 4. And it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel. Verse 5. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gate, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die. Verse 6. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. That's it.
Right? That's the judicial system there. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses, can somebody be judged and put to death. But if one person comes and say, no, that's not true, that brings doubt. And you can't proceed.
What could you pertain this to because it's saying if you hear of any
Okay. If you hear somebody going and serving another god,
yeah,
right? What about it?
It's saying report it. I mean, basically, I know it's saying put to death, but
this is an order to the judges and the leaders of Israel. If you hear somebody going out to serve some heathen god, right? You have to investigate it first. You investigate it. And how do you investigate? You ask around, you find witnesses. If 2 or 3 witnesses come forward and say, yeah, we've seen it, and nobody stands and says, no, this is not true, then you judge them. I mean, if one person comes and says, nah, that's not what it is, then you don't, because now it's not fully established. Especially if the person saying, no, I'm innocent, I didn't do it.
Right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 7 through 13. Verse 7. The hands of the witness shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put evil away from among you. Verse 8. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. Verse 9. And thou shalt come into the priests and the Levites and unto the judge, and that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. Verse 10. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee. Verse 11. According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left. Verse 12. And the man that will do presumptuously, say it again. presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel.
What does presumptuous mean? Be presumptuous. And the man that will do presumptuously, what does the word presumptuous mean? You look it up. Where it says? Nice and loud. Yeah. Basically, you act without considering. That's about presumptuous. You act before considering the situation. You're presumptuous. Pre means before. Right? So, for example, you walk into a room, you see a cake there. You go and cut yourself a slice. You were presumptuous because you don't know who that cake is for. You understand me? So when it comes to judgment, you can't be presumptuous. Go ahead.
Come, verse 13. And all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously, and do no more presumptuously.
And everybody should hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. When you hear the judgment that happened because somebody was presumptuous, then you will think before you act. I'll give you an example of somebody who was presumptuous in the scriptures. Remember the scripture where David was bringing the Ark of the Covenant back and it was about to fall? It was on the wagon. It was about to fall. First of all, the whole act of bringing the Ark of the Covenant on the wagon was wrong because it's not supposed to go on the wagon. It's supposed to go, on the ark, right? On each side had 2 rings. And through those 2 rings, staffs would go through, and you carried them on your shoulder. 4 brothers. That's how it's supposed to be carried. David brought it back on the wagon. That's number 1. Number 2, when it started to fall, the law is nobody should touch it. Somebody went and presumptuously tried to stop it and was struck down by the Lord. And then, as verse 13 says, and all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. Somebody's going to have to learn. I mean, oftentimes, when people don't understand this about the Lord, sometimes a harsh lesson has to be taught in order for everybody to understand. When that lesson is never taught, then a lot of people make bad decisions. I mean, but a harsh lesson has to be learned. I'll give you a harsh lesson in the black community. AIDS was a harsh lesson. If not for that, forget it. The sin would abound in Israel. Even then, sin is still loose out there. Right. But at least it scared some people enough to say, damn, maybe I should not just be sleeping with everybody. That's what I mean. So that's what presumptuous means. And the harshness that comes after it. Go ahead, sis.
And verse 11, it says, which they shall truly to the right hand or to the left.
I'm going to read it.
Read for me, bro.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 11. According to the law, according to the sentence of the law, which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment, which they shall teach thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand nor to the left.
This is speaking about the priests or the of course, under the prophets, right? They teach Israel the law. And it's saying according to what they teach you, that's how you go. You don't go from the left or to the right, meaning go straight. Right? How do you go to the left or to the right? By being presumptuous. By coming up with your own ideas. That's how all these fake Israelites come about. By being presumptuous, by adding to it, by putting in their feelings. You know what I mean? That's why even in class, and I always encourage people in class, how do you properly ask questions? Yes. No, not the what's the verbiage for asking? I'll give you an example. I'm in class and I have a question. I raise my hand and I say, sir, do you think it is right? What's wrong with that question? You're asking somebody what they think. What's the proper way to ask? Go ahead, sis. I'll take that. Is it lawful? Is it lawful to eat turkey bacon? Right? What are you forcing me to do? Go ahead, sis. What are you forcing me to do? You say, is it lawful to drive on the Sabbath? What are you forcing me to do? Go ahead, sis. You back? Not only to check it, to what? Because you're asking the question. You're asking the question, right? Is it lawful to drive after dark? You ask me the question. What are you forcing me to do? Or what are you forcing me to show you? Go ahead, corrupt.
To show me the answer according to the law.
Show me the law. You understand? I mean, that's why it makes not go to the right or to the left. You're gonna show me what God said. Hold your opinion. I mean, because I got a lot of opinions. I mean, that you're gonna disagree with, and God will disagree. But when it comes to the law, you're not going to the right. You just gotta show me what the Bible says. That's what you want to apply. All right? And there's a lot of heretic out there and teachings out there that got nothing to do with the scripture. In fact, I never forget when I was coming to the school years ago, I used to watch everybody. And one particular group said, according to God, it's not unlawful to have more than one wife, but we don't do it in here. I was like, you just said according to God, it's not unlawful. So who the hell are you? Like, that's what I mean? Now, if a man decides he only wants one wife or no wife, whatever, that's up to him. But you can't tell him what God is allowing him to do or not. If you are saying out your mouth something is lawful, how do you turn around and say, but you can't do it here? In fact, you're now challenging God. I mean, it's not unlawful to eat burgers, but in here we don't eat. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. All right. Hopefully, that answers the questions.
All right, I got verse 8.
Go ahead.
Verse 8: If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. What do it mean by blood and blood? Is that talking about like family, like and plea and plea?
Yeah, basically anything. Basically, you go through saying, if me and you have an issue and we can't settle it amongst us, I mean, no matter what the situation, basically, when you start telling you between blood and blood and plea, it's basically telling you whatever the situation is. I mean, if you can't settle it amongst each other, you got to go to counsel. And now I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes to counsel, very important, right? It's something I have to learn. It's better if you settle it amongst yourselves. You understand? It's better if you settle it amongst yourselves, because when you're able to settle it amongst yourselves, it shows that you can handle yourselves. If you got to go to counsel, guess what? Prepare to not agree with the counsel. Yes, the scripture actually says, once it goes to counsel, you have to go. You have to go what the counsel says. So you would wish that we should have just settled it amongst ourselves. I mean, now we went to counsel, we both lost. You know what I mean? But once the counsel happens, I think this came up in class on Tuesday. On Tuesday class, we were going over this. It was a scripture. I can't call it off the top of my head, but it's in the Tuesday class I taught, where once it goes to counsel, now you have to go by the counsel. You can't no longer go by what you think is right, because you should have did what you thought was right amongst yourselves when the issue came about. The minute you go to counsel, it's out of your hands. It's out of my hands. Now it's from the counsel. Whatever the counsel says, is what we do. Now, it's nothing wrong with going to counsel, and counsel is for if you can't settle it amongst yourselves. Don't think you're going to counsel for them to agree with you. Sometimes you go to counsel for judgment, and you deserve whatever judgment you get out of that counsel. You should have settled with your brother or your sister, or your husband or your wife. You should settle it. Somebody should say, you know what? I'm sorry. That was settled it. But now we stand in front of men, explain the story, and trying to prove to them that we're right. And they're looking at both of us as hypocrites. I mean, we're talking about that. And I'm not saying that to discourage people going to counsel. I'm just saying learn to settle things, because when you go to counsel, whatever judgment happens in counsel, you take it. You don't have to agree with it, because you had the chance to do something that the two of you can agree with. Right? Where we at?
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14 to 20. Verse 14. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. So I'm going to read it again. Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Verse 16.
This is a law of God. Like this thing where we, I want Mamdani to rule over me. I want, some heathen. I mean, because they're progressive. You can't never have no heathen ruling over you. It's unlawful. And I'm going to tell you, a heathen can't rule over you justly, because when he sees you, he doesn't see his brother. I mean, people don't often wonder why these white kids don't get in trouble. Because when they go in front of a judge, that judge sees somebody that reminds them of their nephew. I mean, their grandchildren. They don't. When they see you, though, they see what society has taught them about you. They see the hip hop industry. I mean, so that's what you have to. You can't set a heathen over you. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 16. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
Now, this is heavy, right? He should not multiply to him horses, right? Not try to go back to Egypt. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself. Why? A leader, somebody who is elected amongst you, should not multiply wives to himself. Why? It says right in the next verse. What it says?
That his heart turn not away.
That his heart turn not away. Now, people focus on he must not multiply wives to himself, right? What you want to focus on, sis, is the reason that his heart turned not away. What power is God telling you have over your husband? What is he telling you? He's really telling the man there's a danger there. What danger is there? What danger is there in a wife or wives? And it's not an attack. This is arranged by God. Wives is arranged by God. It's not an attack, it's a beautiful thing. But you have to sometimes sit back and understand certain things about you that could either be to the benefit of Israel or to the destruction of Israel. It said he must not multiply wives unto himself. Why? That she may not lead his heart astray. Meaning what? Your influence on your husband to even lead him astray. If you notice, what should you do? You should be careful in the words you say. You should be careful in what you do. You should be careful in your ideas. Because why? You have power. You understand? Women always feel like they're weak. You're not weak. You're the most influential person you could change a king's heart. His wife could change his heart. either to do the work of the Lord or to go against the work of the Lord. So you have to be careful. You understand? When you understand your power is not in feminism. Your power is in your husband being absolutely in love with you. That's where your power is. Yeah. You understand what I mean? And when you have that kind of power, it's just like when you look at a father with his daughter and you see how, what's the term? She has them wrapped around her pinky, meaning that she leads him, right? You have the same power. You don't see it. You see when others see it, though, for sure. But you don't see when you have it. So that Quran.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, we don't ever think like King Solomon was the wisest man in the world. Like he was the wisest. You know what I mean? We consider wise people like smart, intelligent. They think like chess players, like ahead of the time. You know what I'm saying? And he got influenced by he got convinced by his way.
Here's a question we have to ask yourself. You don't think Satan knows that? You don't think Satan knows your power? You may not understand your power. You don't think Satan understands your power. You don't understand it, fine. But there's somebody who does understand it. You know who does understand it? The white man. He understands your power. That's why he puts you at every forefront and gives you more and more power. He wants to give you more power. Why? Because he wants to destroy the nation. Right? Very few will know how to wield it. Okay? A wise woman is one who says, you know what? I used to have sorry going this way. I used to have this employee years ago. She was Arab. Right? And she was a good employee. She shocked me one time, right? Because she was doing well. And I came to her and I said, you know what? There's an assistant manager position open. I want you to apply for it. She said to me, let me speak to my husband first. Right? I was like, okay, that's new. And then her husband called me, and he don't work for me. But I had a conversation with him. He wanted to know about the details of this. He negotiated her salary. And I was like, this woman is wise. Because she said first, let me talk to my husband first. Number one, she honored him. Number two, she let him talk to me. And he's not going to take everything I offer versus her. I don't offer anything. You know what I mean? So I have to say this. Don't think just because somebody comes to you and offers you power. Don't think, oh, they're offering me power. I don't need no man. You know what I mean? Don't throw care. I don't need no man. I have power now. Same thing with brothers. Learn to use men who are wiser than you, who are not emotionally be involved, not in the smoke. Go to somebody over you and say, what do you think about this? You understand what I mean? At the end of the day, we're one body. Whatever happens to you happens to me. Right or wrong? So, yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead. Come on. Where we at?
Can I ask a question? What does the horses mean? Is that like just tangible products? Like
no. Multiplying horses for yourself mean what? You believe in your own might. This is military. This is not, for you. This is not for Richard. This is military. You multiply horses to yourself. Now, of course, the king, just like the wives, the king is gonna get more horses and more wives. But this is just more of a mentality thing. Like, don't think you're gonna multiply horses onto yourself, and then you're the one who saves yourself from trouble. Right? And the other part where leading you back to Egypt is this: along with multiplying more horses, what are you gonna do next? You're gonna make allies with whoever has power.
Okay.
You understand? And then y'all gonna make a pact, and all of a sudden now you think you're strong.
Will we say that what this right now is exactly what Trump doing?
Exactly what it is. Yes. That's exactly what you do.
Don't count. Verse 18.
But he's not under these laws, so he's free to do.
Don't count. Right. Verse 18. And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of his law in a book out of that which is before the priests of the Levites. Verse 19. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of his law and these statutes, to do them. Verse 20. that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandments to the right hand or to the left hand, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. I mean, that was it.
Okay, next one. Got one more, right?
Okay.
Right.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 1. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance within Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Verse 2. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren.
That's what I was talking about earlier. The Levites don't have no inheritance. Back then, they didn't have, under that system, they didn't have no inheritance. I mean, so whatever was sacrificed, what they ate. Go ahead.
The Lord is their inheritance, as he have said unto them. Verse 3. And this shall be the priest's duty from the people.
Do.
Salaki. This shall be the priest's due from the people.
Do means what they get. This will be what they get from the people. Go ahead.
From them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder and the two cheeks and the maw. Verse 4. And the first fruits also of thine corn, of thine wine, and of thy oil, and the first of the fleece of the sheep shall they give him. Verse 5. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all the tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. Verse 6. Verse 6. And if a Levite come from any of thine gates out of Israel, where he sojournered, and come within all the desire of his mind.
What is to sojourn? Means to live, to reside, right? Go ahead.
And come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose. Verse 7. Then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren, the Levites, do, which stand there before the Lord. And that's it.
I'm going to close this out, right? Anybody have any questions? It's like a late start. I'm going to close this out. Well, present thyself. Present yourself. Slack. Go ahead, sis. Slack. Go ahead. Speak up, sis.
That it names like certain months that we are supposed to do the holy day event. How do we know which months were they? How do we all decide which calendar?
Yeah, we just use it. We just use the old calendar. Like for example, Abib. I believe Abib basically means the new year. You know what I mean? It's around the spring. But again, America's calendar does not allow that calendar. Right. It's written out in the Torah. You really study it's written out in the Torah. And they have historical evidence of it also. But yeah, we basically go by that calendar. Because America's calendar, for example, the New Year is January. As you know, that's not the New Year. Right? So you know the seasons. So and another thing too is it's not dates. It's not like America, May 13th. It's not, there's no such thing. You have seasons. You have seasons where the people say, all right, this is the season. We're gonna do all this thing. Yeah, that's correct. Now it could be okay. So for example, a bee could start like the season work like this. The season work like this. You watch the stars, you watch the season. The day that they established, okay, it started here. Okay, now from that point, 14 days from there would be that. I mean, so the priest would measure it as to when did this season start. So you go by season. when did the season start? And then within the season, where are we at in the season? How many days we're in? Right? Present myself with love.
Barakah, Bani Howard. Barakah, Bani Howard.
Barakah, Bani Howard, Bani Yasha'Allah. Yabashim Yashabrakta. This goes for everybody.
Imagine, everybody stand.
Guys, give me 1 second. Amadi and Wapiya Hakwadam, which means rise and face the east. 1, 2, 3. Then in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. This concludes the Sabbath service. Men of Israel, we're going to give the teacher 1 courtesy salute. Saw, which means turn. Men of Israel, Amadi Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh, Shabbat, Yayamatat. Saw means turn. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters 1 courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahushua, and Thumb by Shim Yahusha. Yair Matah, dismissed.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're